Welcome to Bless's Kitchen. It is a special show today. We have Isabella Sedan. Did I say that right?
Sendan. Yeah.
Sedan. You got to tell us where that last name comes from.
From Cuba.
From Cuba. Very good. Bella, as we know her here, is nervous today. I'm kind of outing you a little bit.
It's okay.
Bella she runs our live streaming here at the parish. She runs all the masses, Bless's Kitchen, revival nights. She has been such a gift to this parish, and so it is such an honor to have lunch with you today. Finally, you're in front of the cameras.
No, I came out tonight.
You know, and Michelle's running the board over there in the hallway.
Thank you, Michelle.
It's so funny because you're a beautiful girl, and with the mask on, we can never see your face.
I know this is probably the first time people are seeing me without my mask because I always have it on. So
you're like, wow, who is that?
Surprise.
Anyway, let's say a prayer in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord Jesus, thank you for this beautiful day, for gathering here together, for the gift of community, for the gift of this parish, for the gift of technology that we're able to reach so many people and encourage others to know Christ. So we ask you to bless this food and bless those who go hungry on this day. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. So we're having a salad. It's kind of healthy. I'm having salad with some shrimp, and you're having rice with some shrimp. I'm not going to have some rice, but you're skinny, so.
The cake looks so good. I'm very
and the
excited
cake looks
for the
good.
cake.
Yeah, today's Father Tran's birthday.
Happy birthday, Father Tran.
Yeah, Father Tran's birthday on the feast of Our Lady of Fatima. What a special birthday.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's so great. Well, cheers.
So cheers to you with some water. So how have you been, Bella? How is the pandemic treating you?
I've been good. I've been good. Lots of time with family, which is always really special. I still live at home with my mom and my dad and one of my brothers. So it's been a lot of quality time together. It's been really fun.
When that lockdown came down, families had to kind of rediscover each other because they were spending a lot of time together, right?
Yeah, if we weren't close before, we're definitely very close now.
Or very apart.
True.
I heard that, some of the families were going through some difficulties, but most families that I talked to, it was a blessing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so great. I don't think I would have been able to make it through if it was just me alone in an apartment. I send kudos to everyone who had to do that because that sounds super lonely. I'm very close to my mom, so spending that quality time with her was great.
Oh, that's
She had
awesome.
no excuse to leave. It was one-on-one time. It was great. We would go in the pool. We went on lots of walks.
Yeah.
It was great.
I think that you're absolutely right. That was one of the things that the pandemic allowed was, as horrible as the pandemic is and as much havoc as that's created, but there were these blessings and silver linings of people really spending time together and kind of reevaluating what's important in life.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And family is the number one thing. It always has been. We miss one of my brothers. I think he's watching, Vincent. He's at medical school right now in Orlando.
Wow.
So the distance was hard. We haven't seen him as much as we probably would have.
Yeah.
But FaceTime is such a blessing too, and our little family group chat that we always text in. And
oh, that's cool.
yeah, we're all really close.
Well, I want to hear about your, like what you studied in school and how you got this job because it's just like everything fell into place at the perfect time.
Yeah. Community is awesome. It's definitely through connections and networking. I went into college at University of Miami with broadcast journalism as my major. I thought I wanted to be on TV, which is kind of ironic because all this right now makes me super nervous. But
does it remind you of like, this is why I changed majors?
Yes, 100%. My sophomore year, I really realized like, I love the filming aspect, I love the editing aspect, but having to be on camera was just like not very fun to me, which is fun because I think that's what I loved about it at first. When I was in 4th grade, I was asked by my elementary school to be on the morning news because I was so outgoing and I talked to everyone. I wasn't scared of strangers. So they were like, oh, she won't be scared of the camera.
Yeah.
And after that, I was just like, okay, that's what I'll do forever. And then, it definitely didn't work out.
Well, you're a natural because and it's so funny. I have to tell you guys that are watching that Bella tells our guests when they come here, oh, it's super easy. You're going to love it. You're going to have a great time. Just be yourself.
Yeah, it's a little hypocritical. I'm sorry, everyone. But I have major respect to everyone who's been in this seat before, because having to try to eat, because the food is delicious, and talk and look camera ready, it's a lot of pressure, but it's really fun. It's cool to be here.
It's a cool thing, you know?
Yeah, I love the idea. So then my sophomore year, the end of sophomore year, I switched to electronic media, which is a more focused route on editing, and I love that.
And do you like that?
I love it. It's definitely what I love the most. I love the storytelling aspect of things, and I love interviewing people and just really sitting with them one-on-one and getting to know them, getting to know their story. I've done a lot of video projects for nonprofits I've been involved in, like Camp Kesem. So things like that have just been like a fuel and a fire. I love videography and editing.
Well, you're really good at what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. I have like a background in live streaming, but Daniel definitely gave me the rundown and the crash course that I needed when I started here. So I graduated from UM in 2019, so before the pandemic.
Right.
And I had a part-time job for a nonprofit called Forge. A really, really incredible woman named Casey started it, and it's for veteran awareness and spreading awareness on veteran suicide with firearm.
Wow.
And how to help prevent veteran suicide, and just by not taking their firearms away, but instead encouraging like a buddy system when they're in a moment of crisis. So with that, I had really great opportunities to interview veterans and hear really powerful stories. We traveled to Atlanta, and it was like January 2020, so it was right before COVID hit.
The shutdown.
Yeah, so it was a lot of incredible work. I learned from my mentor, who was a professor at UM. Her name is Candace. She is incredible. I love her with my whole heart. She taught me so much that I know now about storytelling and like doing really powerful stories. And then I was also driving kids and nannying them for extra money on the side. I would pick them up from school. They were the cutest little kids. I missed them. And then COVID hit and I was at home. And I've always done photography on the side as a hobby. I have Bella Rosa Productions, which I started in like high school, and then 2018.
What is it, Bella what?
Bella Rosa Productions.
Bella Rosa Productions.
Yeah,
well, look it up. She's a great photographer. If you're looking for a photographer or need somebody,
thank you.
Look her up. She'll do a beautiful job.
It's
She's
grad
very
season, so you probably see me on campus if you're at UM doing my laps. But yeah, so photography every once in a while during COVID, but it was hard because no one really knew, like, is this allowed? Like, can she be here? Can she be photographing this? And then in August, I met Ellie Adams through Melissa Tablada, and Michelle was looking for someone to take this position, and Ellie recommended me because Ellie's a parishioner here. And yeah, Michelle texted me. We had a Zoom FaceTime interview. I came in, and the rest is history. Yeah, it's crazy. It feels like it was just yesterday, but also like 20 years ago. Like, I feel like I've been here for so long.
Yeah, because the pandemic, it just seems like, you know, because you were here every day during the shutdown, and wasn't it kind of strange in the beginning where it was just us?
Yeah.
You know, like no congregation.
Because I started once the church was already a little bit more full.
Yeah, but it was still
August,
not
but
like...
it wasn't like this.
Right.
It was different. And I actually was watching the streams on YouTube in like April, May, June. So it was very cool to be like on the other side of it and like seeing the number of people watching, seeing the comments, like, and knowing that it's not just reaching people in Coral Gables that can't go into church. There are people tuning in from everywhere. I love when they leave comments like, watching from Europe, watching from India. Like, it's so cool. It puts a little bit of pressure, but in a good way. I know. It's good pressure.
Like India.
Yeah.
Malaysia. Yeah. Like all of these like very far away places.
Yeah. And people leave comments about you. They're like, we love you, Father Vigoa and Father Tran. And everyone's awesome. So grateful for this parish. So it's cool. I was shooting a friend's engagement party last weekend, and her aunt was there, and she was like, and I had to leave. I was like, oh, I have work in the morning. She was like, where are you working? I said, oh, I stream at St. Augustine Church. That's our parish. We love it there. We've been watching the stream. Cool. So it's always really fun to like run into parishioners.
I wanted to ask you, Where do you get your work ethic from? Because you're so good. You're like so responsible, so organized. And if you say, I'm going to be here, you're here. You mean business. You make your calendar. You make your schedule.
I'm like too organized. It
No, but that's really good.
Some people crazy, yeah.
No, that's really good. Like, where do you get your work ethic from?
Probably from both of my
From your
parents.
parents?
Yeah. My mom was a nurse. My dad's a doctor, and they met in a hospital in New York. I used to lie and like straight up lie when I was little and say that they met over heart surgery. I tell people they were,
Just sounds more romantic,
yeah,
right?
they looked up and made eye contact, but no, the truth is a patient was coding and my mom had to call for a doctor and my dad was the one who came.
Hey, that's kind of romantic too.
Yeah, he survived, which is good. They still remember his name. It's really sweet. But yeah, my mom has always been just very good, and when she says she's going to do something, she does it, and she's just the best role model in every sense, as a woman, as a Catholic, as anyone, like work ethic. And then my dad is a doctor, and he's worked through some of the biggest things. He's a pulmonologist, and he's been working in Miami during COVID. So he definitely, his work ethic, like no matter what, even though it's hard, even though it's rough, like this is my job, this is what I love, and I'm going to serve people. So. And
did any of them get COVID?
No.
What a blessing.
God, yeah.
What a blessing.
And if we did, we don't know, but from what we can tell, the 5 of us who live at home and my aunt who lives with us, none of us got COVID, and my brother in Orlando either. So very big blessing. Those masks that I wear definitely helped me out, because that's why like people here, if, like Maria Isabel's watching downstairs or something, I don't think she's ever seen my face, but this is what I look like.
Well, you're a beautiful girl, and we're glad to
Thanks.
see you without the mask.
Yeah.
But I totally get it, because you live with your parents, and I think that anyone who lives with their parents, because as we've seen, COVID kind of hits older generations a little bit harder. So I think you did the right thing.
Thank you. And my mom's a cancer survivor, so
so you got to be extra careful.
We were extra careful. But yeah, everything at home was great. Played a lot of Monopoly, played a lot of board games. It felt kind of like a hurricane, like whenever there's a hurricane.
Yeah, it did, like a long extended hurricane.
Very
you're
extended,
right.
With power, which is nice. We usually
a hurricane with power. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Actually, that's how I felt. It felt like a hurricane day.
Yeah, because you're too scared to go outside, and then it's like
you have those
safe.
like 2 days where you're just at home.
You got to figure out what to do and like not kill each other in the house. So we all made it because of COVID, like not getting COVID, but also not killing each other from getting on each other's nerves.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Do you cook?
I bake. I bake really good cookies. Yeah. Oh, that's basically my limit. My mom is an
there's
incredible
talent
chef.
there. There's talent there
Thank
because
you.
Those cookies are so good.
Raul was asking if I brought cookies today. I usually bring cookies for guests on Bless This Kitchen, but I was like, no, I'm the guest.
I'm not going to bring them for me.
I'm not making cookies for myself. Because it takes time. Making the cookies takes a while. My mom is an incredible chef. My mom's Italian, and she can make the best everything, and Father Tran asks all the time if he can come over for meatballs.
Really?
Yeah.
She's that good, huh?
She's so good at cooking. It's big shoes to fill.
Wow.
My grandma says I can't get married until I learn how to cook, and until I know how to make a good flan is her big thing. If I can't make flan, I can't get married. So.
And are you learning?
I am. Whenever she's in Miami, we practice. I'm able to make it. It's the flip. The flip of the flan, I always break it. It like falls apart, and then she'll just give me that look, like the Cuban grandma look. And you're like, okay.
And what is it like? You have to put the plate on top and then do a quick.
And then you have to flip it really fast, and I don't know.
I've seen it done.
I'm clumsy.
Never tried it, but I've seen it done.
Yeah, your mom makes really good flan. I had it.
My mom makes really good desserts. Yeah. You've been the beneficiary of some of those desserts. Yeah,
whenever there's leftovers while I'm cleaning up, I usually pick. I really like when there's bread, when you guys have like garlic bread. That's really fun to pick on. Yeah,
garlic bread is delicious.
Yeah.
I was gonna, that yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before, but I'm gonna be on a TV show.
Really?
Yeah, it was, it's on Hulu.
Cool.
It's called Taste the Nation, with Padma Lakshmi. Really cool. And basically they're coming to Miami to talk about Noche Buena.
Okay, cool.
And they're interviewing a bunch of Cuban Americans that have the roasted pork at their house,
Yeah.
and why are those traditions important? I hadn't seen one of her shows, but I sat down the other day just to see what, what kind of show am I going to be on, And I found it to be super interesting. What she does on her show is like, she highlights immigrants and their story,
that's
and that
awesome.
and that there's a fabric of all of us in American culture. And one of the things that she says is like, well, what is American food,
Yeah.
And so she goes around the country putting some cultures on display, so they just asked me a bunch of questions and stuff. And
have you done it? You already did the interview?
Yeah, I did the interview.
It went well? You had fun?
It was fun, but it's kind of crazy. Like, I was there for like an hour, but they probably take like 30 seconds or something,
Yeah.
like just like a little tagline or something.
That's awesome. You're representing Cubans everywhere in our culture. So that's awesome. My dad's Cuban. He was born in Cuba. Then he came when he was a teenager. They went to Spain for a bit, and then they came here.
And you and your brothers were born in Miami?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were born and raised in Coral Gables. My brothers are 2 years older than me. They're twins. Actually, 18 months.
They're twins? Mm-hmm. And one's in med school, and where's the other one going?
The other one is working at Barry University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's local.
Yeah. Yeah, we're both still at home. Vincent,
yeah, you said that.
Yeah. Yeah, Vincent's in med school. Daniel's at home with me. And it's great. They were so fun growing up with. I definitely was more of like a tomboy than a girly girl. Like, we were watching more guy stuff and like playing with Legos more than like dolls.
Yeah, my sister Elizabeth, who is next, she's the middle child. She was the same way. She didn't want to play with dolls and be in the house. She was outside playing with me. She was more of a tomboy. And then my little sister, she liked the dolls, and she's 6 years younger than we are. So it's kind of, but yeah, I could totally relate to that. But how cool, like when brothers and sisters get along and they play. And
yeah, it's fun. It was definitely fun growing up with siblings, and I have so many cousins. My mom is one of 6. So all of them have kids, and then we have
your first cousins.
Mm-hmm. Now we have a lot of second cousins because my older cousins are having kids. So yeah, all my family up north. If anyone's watching, hi. My mom sent the link.
Where do you have family?
My mom was born in Levittown, which is outside of Philly. So I have family in Pennsylvania, in Hazleton, in New Jersey, in Hopewell. A lot of family up there, and then I have a lot actually now in Pensacola here in Florida.
Pensacola, how cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
The Panhandle,
beaches.
the beaches are amazing.
Yeah, they definitely thought when my first cousin Sharon came down for college, she was like, Aunt Kathy, I'm going to go to college in Florida. We're going to be so close. And it's like 11 hours away. But we make the drive all the time. Like,
you do?
Yeah,
wow.
Especially before COVID, my mom and I were like never home. Like,
let's take a trip.
Yeah, we always like went to visit my cousins in Texas and Pennsylvania and Pensacola. I always had to plan my school schedule to have no classes Friday and Monday. And she would she meant this well, I love you, Mom, but she would always be like, you have a class on Friday? That doesn't work with our schedule. You can't do that.
You can't have a class on Friday.
Yeah, a lot of my little cousins think we're like one person. They'll say like Aunt Kathy, Aunt Bella, like rolled into
And why do you have that strong relationship with your mom?
We were always really close growing up. Yeah, we were always very close, but especially when she got sick when I was in high school, definitely put things in perspective, and we got even closer. And thank God she's here, and she's a survivor for, I don't know, almost 8 years, maybe 7 years.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
She's super strong. She's a fighter. She's my role model in like every sense of the word. But after that, it definitely like every moment with her is special and important. And with
Making
my dad
memories.
too. Yeah, it definitely makes you realize like our parents are older, and you never know what's gonna happen. So
you gotta.
I get very,
you gotta
like,
take
annoyed.
the time and enjoy it, and I agree with that.
Yeah, my dad will sometimes get annoyed with me because when he leaves for work, like I need to say like bye, I love you, and I need to hear it back. And like when I go to sleep, I say it, and he'll be like, bye, I love you. Like after a while, like okay, I get it. But for me, that's
so
just
sweet.
like every day. I'm like, bye, I love you. Have a good day. Like popping out from my room. Yeah.
That's awesome.
They either love it or they just put up with it to make it better. But
and they don't say anything.
yeah, either way, I'm fine as long as I hear it back.
Now, tell me a little bit about your faith, because you're a person who loves the Lord and you practice the faith, and so how did that come about?
So we grew up religious. My mom grew up Catholic, and then we definitely got more involved with our faith when my brother started at Belen in 6th grade, and it was like mandatory to go to church every Sunday. So we started going to St. Teresa because it was walking distance from our house. And then I went to LaSalle for high school. Loved it. LaSalle was like the best thing that ever could have happened
When
to
did
me.
you graduate from LaSalle?
2015.
2015. So Sister Kim was already there.
Yeah. Sister
She's
Kim was
turned
the
that place
principal.
around, let me tell you.
And the dean there that was there at the time, Dr. Shane, was like incredible for me. He, especially since my mom was sick while I was there, they definitely like looked out for me, took care of me. He used to, I'll never forget, he would call on the speakerphone. He would look at my schedule. And for example, if I was in like French class, he would call and he'd be like, send Bella down to my office right now, like really angry. And I was always like, what did I do?
My
Like, am I in
God.
trouble? And then I'd go and he's like, oh, you don't need to be in French class. Like, hang out with me, let's talk. And he would bring his dogs to school and we'd walk the dogs around campus. And
Yeah, he was checking on you.
yeah, I had so many great teachers that
Checking
were
on
always looking
you.
out. And the chapel on the first floor in the main building was like my
Yeah.
fortitude. And I had great friends my junior and senior year who, especially one of them who I had every single class with, I would call her my guardian angel because literally like she could tell if I needed to go, and we'd go to the chapel and we'd cry or we'd talk and we'd pray, and I just felt so much strength from the community at LaSalle. It was perfect. It was so great. And the retreats, and then I got to lead retreats and give back and help others. Like, LaSalle was my favorite. I missed it. Second semester of senior year, we couldn't talk about graduation. I was that person that would like start sobbing.
Wow.
You couldn't like acknowledge that we were leaving. I was like,
So you had a great high school experience.
yeah, it was perfect. And I definitely think freshman year, I wouldn't have realized how much it would mean just because you're 14 years old.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
a freshman.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I worked in the Archbishop's office for a while, and we always had parents super angry that their kid didn't get into LaSalle, or because
It's special.
for the past, I would say, well, since Sister Kim was there, like there's been a waiting list, and it's hard to get into LaSalle, you know.
Yeah.
And they can only take so many kids, so
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a process. But we'd always have people, oh, you got to do something, you know.
Expand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have done well at Carrollton or Lourdes, just because I was so used to guys and being friends with guys and getting along. Like, I think the all-girl experience would have been a lot for me.
Did you go to St. Teresa's?
I didn't. No, I went to Coral Gables Elementary for elementary school, and then I went to Palmer Trinity for middle school.
Oh, okay.
And then I left, and instead of going there for high school, I went to LaSalle, which was perfect.
The best thing.
It was the best thing.
Palmer Trinity just did like a new chapel because our architect was the one who was the head of that project, and it came out beautiful.
Yeah, I went about 2 years ago with a couple people from Camp Custom to do a bake sale. And it was so weird being back on campus because I hadn't been there since I was like 12 or
Little
13.
kid.
And it's far.
Yeah.
It's a trek, so it's not like I would go visit. But yeah, Palmer is beautiful. It's a beautiful campus. But yeah, I went to LaSalle, and then Trish Vega, if she's watching, I love you, Trish. She was older. She was my brother's year here at UM. She lived on his freshman floor, but then I ended up commuting to college because he didn't really have a good experience in the dorm, so he came home sophomore year.
Yeah.
And then that was my freshman year. My mom was like, okay, well, he didn't like the dorms, so you're not gonna stay in the dorms. So I commuted, which is fine. It worked out. We carpooled. It was cute.
Was there a side of you that said, no, I wanna try this?
I think a part of me did, but I also understood it because I was only 10 minutes away, and
Yeah.
like, there's nothing better than having like a big test and coming home and your mom already made dinner,
Yeah.
and like she gives you that hug you need. Like I was
Yeah.
spoiled. I loved being at home.
Yeah.
But Vincent told Trish, like, Bella's starting next year and she's commuting. If there's like, if you want to hang out with her, if you want to be her friend. And Trish was super involved at U Catholic. So she's like one of those names that like people will always remember. She lived in the Rose Lodge. She was like an icon. Trish
Where'd
was
she
incredible.
go on to?
She's at Focus right now in NYU, I believe, in New York. I think she's on her way down to Miami actually to come visit for a bit.
I hope I get to meet her because
Yeah.
some of these kids that go to Focus, they're just extraordinary.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
She's like the best. So she definitely got me involved with like Bible studies with other iconic U Catholic girls like Marissa Von Esch and Christina Gutierrez, and just really inspiring, wonderful women that just always have a smile on their face and love to talk about the Lord. And we would sit in the courtyard and do our Bible studies once a week. And then Trish and I did discipleship together for a bit, which was like one-on-one and just checking in on each other. And then I joined Camp Kesem, which I definitely could have done a better job at staying involved in other things. I quickly was like, it's all Camp Custom or nothing. I put like my whole heart and soul into that. So I would hang out, I would go to confession with Father Tran and come to a few masses, but I definitely wasn't as involved as I wish I was towards the end of my time at UM. So it was definitely very cool to get the job here. And Father Tran was like, we're making up for lost time. And every morning he'll like ask me a new question and get to know me more. So
that is so cool.
Yeah, I definitely have great role models from here. Christina and I are still really close. I'm gonna stream her baby's baptism this upcoming weekend. Yeah. So lots of incredible people come from this church in this area, this parish.
Yeah, it's amazing how many, like I'll meet people out of the parish, it's like, oh, I was there and I did a campus ministry and it changed my life, and it's so cool.
You guys have done an incredible job with campus ministry. Incredible.
Well, you know, Father Tran did a beautiful job these last 4 years, and we're so grateful that that he gave us those 4 years, and that, you know, I see, I think 4 years is good. You know, I would have liked for him to stay 5, you know, but he's moving on, and he's going to a mission diocese where they really need priests out there, and
he's going to spread his light and his love.
Yeah,
in the community
and I hope that he takes a lot of the stuff that he learned here and applies it to his new diocese. He's going to land on his feet everywhere where he's going to go. The people are going to love him, and he's going to do well.
I didn't know that he was leaving until you said it Sunday when I was
I was going to talk about that. I walk out and you're like,
I was like
super
emotional.
sad. And you're like, I didn't know anything.
Ray was back in the office with me in the sacristy, and you said like Father Tran will be leaving, and you explained, and I literally like, I must have had my jaw on the floor.
Yeah.
And Ray was like, you didn't know? I'm like, I didn't know. I was like trying not to cry, but it's definitely for the best, and he'll be close to family, and we're gonna miss him. I hope he comes to visit.
Yeah, and the thing is that, I mean, if anything, you know the importance of family. I mean, the stories that you've been sharing now are beautiful because it shows that having a strong relationship with your family, how important that.
Yeah.
How important is that? And it's like a bedrock in your life. But I think for him, not having family in South Florida, and then being close to his sisters and seeing his nieces and nephews grow up, I think that's important.
Yeah, I'm very close to my second cousins that are like, some of them call me Aunt Bella, so they're like my nieces and nephews, and if I could be in the same town as them watching them grow up, I would love every second of it, take advantage of every moment. So he's going to be there for all the little things that seem unimportant in the everyday, but like the soccer games and different things. He's going to be the coolest uncle in the whole world after you, because I know you're an uncle.
I love, mine are getting old now, you know, older, but tell me about your hopes and dreams. What's next? Because breaking news here, I don't know if you know this, but Bella's going to be leaving us now in June, and so we're going to be very sad about that. But how beautiful the time that you did give us, you know. And I hope that I hope that it was something that was rewarding and for you. It
was definitely like exactly when I needed it, and it gave me so much, not just a job and stabilization during a pandemic, but also a community and friends, and such. Everyone here who works here is so nice. Marisa, oh my gosh, she and I still text, and we talk on the phone every once in a while. I met Daniel through here, and now I work with him. Everyone here is just so friendly and nice. But yeah, Bella Rosa Productions has grown a lot, tremendously. The pandemic was actually really good. I had the time to really sit and organize myself, and I filed as an LLC, and I launched my website, and I've become so blessed and so busy that I've actually had to like turn clients away, and like I have to book a month in advance, 2 months in advance. Like it's very surreal, because this time last year.
And do you enjoy that?
I love it. I do.
Like, what aspect of it do you enjoy?
I love getting to know people and getting to capture these like important moments for them. I'll do proposals.
Like intimate moments.
Yeah, I've done proposals. I've done engagement pictures. I've done graduate shoots. Right now it's grad season, so after this I go to a shoot right on campus. I'm gonna get changed and head back over. But it's just so special to be able to document that for people, and give them memories to have forever, because when my parents graduated high school, they probably didn't have grad pictures. They didn't, when they proposed, even some of my older cousins, you didn't really like photograph that moment. So it's so special, and it's so special when people that I love, that I haven't seen or talked to in so long, reach out to me. And one of our good family friends from Belen, that their son did crew with my brother, the Pereiras, the oldest daughter, Janelle, was like a big sister to me growing up. I loved her. And we always like kept in touch. We would see each other on Thanksgiving, but her boyfriend reached out to me in November and was like, I'm going to propose and I want you to take the pictures. And I think that's been like my favorite shoot so far, because it was like raining.
Was it a surprise? And
it was a surprise. And I have a picture of her, like he got on his knee, I captured it, and then her looking and realizing I was the one taking the pictures, and she was just like, Bella! Like, it was just so special to do that for them and to be able to serve them in that way. So
how cool.
Yeah, it's such a blessing, and I'm so grateful for everything and every person I've met, everyone who's trusted me, because it's definitely grown so much over the years, and I've definitely seen my progress, so it's a lot of fun.
And that's where the direction you want to go into, like photography. And
I think I want to continue, I don't know, because they're so similar fields and paths. I do videography through Bella Rosa Productions as well, so I think I want to continue that. Once Camp Kesem is in person again, I would love to go to chapters and I do their like recap video. I'll do something for them to post on Giving Tuesday for their galas. Camp Kesem is a nationwide nonprofit for kids whose parents have or had cancer.
Wow.
So if anyone watching, if you know someone who could benefit from Camp Kesem services, it's completely cost-free, and it's around the country. Different colleges run it. It's run by college students, which sounds crazy, but we
What is it again? Tell us what it is again.
Camp Kesem, K-E-S-E-M.
Camp Kesem?
Yeah, Kesem. Kesem in Hebrew means magic. So it's like Camp Magic, and it gives these incredible, wonderful, strong kids a place to escape and just like be surrounded by people who understand them, and they're not labeled as the kid whose parent has cancer. They're just seen as who they are, and it's the best thing I've ever become involved in. I love it, and I've gone to other chapters outside of Miami and filmed for them. 2020 I was supposed to go to different schools, but then they had to cancel due to COVID, and this summer they're doing online as well, which is different, but it's still impactful and still something. At least it's not nothing.
Yeah.
So hopefully next summer I'll be back at Camp Kesem's around. We get camp names so that the kids can't find us on social media, but also to like add to the magic of it. Like, you don't know who this person really is, and my camp name was Rugrat because I talk about kids too much. I have baby fever, talk about my cousins a lot, like, so they were like, you have to be something about kids. So
Rugrat.
I love Rugrat. I can't wait until she's back in the world videotaping and photographing. So yeah, things like that I love to do both.
And so, of course, Daniel was so instrumental in getting us online, and right when the shutdown came on, and he helped us with all of the cameras, all the production. He brought his own equipment, and he's done such great work for us. What have you done with Creative Particle?
Yeah, it's been so much fun with Creative Particle too. I would say like October, early
You've learned
November.
a lot from him, right?
So much. Oh my gosh, I literally like, every day it's something new I learn from him, and not just like techniques with editing, but like client communication and like just different sides of the business. He's always willing to answer any question I have, especially for Bella Rosa Productions. I'll ask him like, does this sound okay? He gives me advice all the time. But I've gone to a lot of shoots with him, and I help set up, I help him film.
But you see, Daniel and his wife, Josie, they were raised in the church.
Yeah.
Like,
You can tell.
Yeah, and they have that kind of, what can I help? How can I help? What do I need to do? Like, and the way they treat people is a Christian way, you know?
Yeah, and I always tell my mom that too. It's so great to have role models in my life and people that I'm working with that are so religious and that are prioritizing their time at church and their time with the Lord, because you can tell that, and you can tell the way he talks about his kids and the way he talks about his wife, and that they come to mass, and they, like, the kids are growing up with good values, which is so special and so important. So I've loved, he puts up with a lot with me, so he's awesome.
Well, what are some of the jobs you do for them for a Creative Particle?
So depending on the clients that he has, depends like the projects I help him with. There was a big project through Miami Bayside Foundation, which was helping small businesses grow their small business. We would go, and certain ones that wanted videos, we would go and film them. He would run the interview, I would run the camera. And,
okay, so
and
production
we would like edit
side.
it together.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
So he would do some, I would do some. It was a
It's
lot
like
of
hands-on
fun.
on everything.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then we did another one for one of his clients that usually does talks in person and like big town hall events sort of things. But because of COVID, they had to transition to Zoom. So he completely transitioned something for them. They would like Zoom with him, he'd record it, we would edit it, we would put things, and then he would stream it as if it was live. So there would be viewers watching on Zoom thinking all of this is happening now, and he would tell the speakers like, wear the same thing in the recording that you do for the live question and answer portion, and they did, and it all worked so cool. It was just
super creative.
Yeah, he like thinks of things so quickly, like he'll help people think of how to word things. And
I was really impressed with him when we were doing a lot of filming and different projects. He would say, look, my opinion is that you go this route, and you say this, and you and he would lay it out. He's like, I mean, he's good at what he does.
Yeah, it's like.
And you are too. You have that kind of magic to it. You have kind of this intuition with editing and filming, and so
Thank you.
I think you picked the right career.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I was
and
able to
easily
easily transition, because when I realized I didn't want broadcast, there was a moment of like panic, like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to graduate late? Am I like, it's scary in those moments, but I didn't have to take any additional classes because it's very similar tracks. I just actually didn't have to do as many classes on camera, so it was a lot better in my opinion. I have a lot of friends that did it. One of my good friends, Luis, actually just got his sacrament of confirmation here on Easter Sunday, and I was his sponsor. But he did broadcast journalism.
I remember.
That's how he and I met in one of our broadcast classes. And then in August, the first day I came in to like pick up a camera or something, Michelle was organizing binders for RCIA, and I was like, what is that? She explained it to me. I texted him. He looked into it. The rest is history. Now he has all the sacraments.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's very cool to look back on August and be like, wow, so many things have like come up since then.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I want to tell young people, and this is something that I need to say from the pulpit, is that get your sacraments done. Mm-hmm. And as young people too, to really do it, because what happens is a lot of these kids, like, sister becomes pregnant, she's married and has a kid, wants the brother to be a godfather. He doesn't have the sacraments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, or he wants to get married, doesn't have sacraments. So what happens is that do it now while you're single and while you have time. And so later on, when you're thinking about getting married, or they want to ask you to be a godfather or a godmother, you're doing what you need to do, and you have your sacraments.
Yeah.
You know, be involved, be part of a community.
Yeah.
You know,
take the chance now. And
take the chance now.
If you're listening, Vincent and Daniel, my brothers, get your sacrament of confirmation if you want to be godfathers to my future kids.
That's right. If you want to be padrino.
I don't know if they do it now, but when my brothers were there, they didn't do sacrament of confirmation at Belen.
I changed that. I'm responsible for that.
I wish it was before 2014 so they could have gotten it. That's awesome, though.
I'm responsible for that.
My mom never understood why.
I didn't understand that either. And so what I did was I just scheduled the bishop to go there. And it just happened, you know? So now they have in the big cafeteria, I think it is, or the big auditorium there. They have confirmation.
That's awesome.
And so now a lot of the schools since then, like Belen, Columbus, Carrollton, Lourdes, they'll have confirmation. I don't know if Lourdes does, but Belen, Columbus, I know Carrollton does. They didn't have it. Like Carrollton didn't have confirmation either.
We didn't have like classes at LaSalle for it.
How did you do it?
I actually didn't have my first communion going into LaSalle. So freshman year, one of the nuns that worked there was doing like, I don't know if it was considered RCIA because we were younger, but she was teaching small groups the sacraments, and freshman year I joined it. I think it was like 6 or 7 of us, and then I got my first communion and confirmation. Easter.
Yeah, it was like an RCIA program.
Yeah. It was cool. It was like after school, we would meet up in the chapel. I remember I was so nervous because before we had to like do a quiz and write out all the prayers, and if you like rewrote, like switched words, you would have to do it again, and it was intimidating at first, but
was it a good experience?
Cool. It was so great. It was awesome. It was so sweet to like get that, and then I just kind of dove into my faith after that. I was a peer minister. I was a Eucharistic minister, which I always tell you, like, if you need me to come help distribute, I don't know if that expires.
No, of course.
In high school, and I loved that. I loved the masses at LaSalle, the choir, the songs we would sing. There are some songs from retreats that, like, now if we hear it, we automatically start crying. I'll tell Justin, like, you played that song, and I went back to 11th grade Bella, and I started crying in my seat, and I had to remember to keep streaming and controlling the cameras.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that because you're in front of the screen there, and you're attentive to everything. So that means you're attentive even to the homilies and to the talks and what's going on.
Yeah, I actually journal during
Do you
the
journal?
homily.
Really?
Yeah, I started it. I think Trish taught me too. I think Trish gave me a lesson on like just fully be involved in church, and then Melissa Tablata did a post about the importance of journaling during Mass, and I was like, it's so true, it's so impactful because you're really like absorbing. It's like if you're in class, you don't always absorb everything just by listening. Writing down helps too. So I did it a lot while I was at home watching on YouTube, and then the first few weeks I was working here, I was too nervous to do it. I don't know why. I feel like because that was when we were out in the church. It wasn't in the sacristy yet. So I was nervous to be like journaling while I was out in front of people. I didn't know if people would think I was texting.
Oh, that's right, because you were out in front of everybody.
We were out like right in front of the first pew was the table.
Yeah, I remember.
So I didn't want to be like looking down and people assume I was like texting during work, but once I was moved to the sacristy, I definitely journaled during the homily, and I try to stay engaged. And when I come out for Eucharist and I come back, I'll be praying sometimes, and I usually pray out loud. So if I'm alone in the sacristy, I'll be praying out loud, and then the altar boys will sometimes come back to get water, and I'm like,
are you talking to somebody?
Yeah, no, I like get quiet. I'm like, I'm not talking to myself, I promise I'm talking to Jesus. Like, I get like a little
But nervous. That's kind of cool that people do that. I know a lot of people that do that, and they'll take notes on their phones. Like Chris Foster, who I loved, he was here in the parish. He came to Mass every single day. He passed away in January 2020, which he's greatly missed. What a pillar of this parish. But he would write, during every homily, he would write notes on his phone. Yeah. And I was at a function for the Knights of Columbus. And
which is next to LaSalle.
Yeah, no, the one that's in Coral Gables.
Oh, okay.
I was there, and this guy comes up, I don't even remember his name, and he says, man, let me ask you something. Does Chris's wife have his phone? I go, yeah. And he says to me, I would love to read his notes, because I would see him writing during the homily all the time. But I love when people do that. Yeah,
it's definitely, it helps me, because if not, it would be pretty easy to just kind of like zone out, click the button.
It kind of helps you stay in the moment, right?
If I'm back in the sacristy and the days where things move quickly and I'm not able to come out for Eucharist during Mass, it kind of feels a little like separate almost, like being out in the church, like you're right in front of the altar, so you feel the presence. But being in the sacristy, it's so much of a better setup, and the cameras are incredible.
But you're not in church.
I need to like make myself stay connected. So I love the journaling, and I love the headphones really help. Sometimes people will come back and like wait before they're needed to come back out, so I just put the headphones on. I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm listening to the homily. So
now let me ask you about the altar boys, because
they're the reason I'm here. If you're watching, you're welcome.
Because they love you. They like at first they wanted nothing to do with you.
I know. No, I told Paola when I first started, that was right when Max got his first communion.
Yeah.
And it was like the first Mass he was serving at or something. And I whispered to her, I was like, I'm so distracted. That kid is so cute. Like, I'm not listening to anything you're teaching me. And she was like, I know, he just got his first communion. And they're all such incredible kids. I tell Max, adult Max, pretty frequently that they just did such a great job with them.
Such a great job with those kids.
And I think it's funny because people tend to like lump them together.
Yeah.
Like they're the Caccioni brothers.
Yeah.
They're the altar boys. They're all the same, but they're all so different.
So different.
Their personalities, they're so funny. So
but I love how they come up to you
Oh
and
my
they
gosh.
ask you the questions, and little Max will like.
Max is my buddy. He and I are friends
Where
now.
before he didn't even.
I know.
wanna,
Before we would make eye contact, I would say good morning, Max, and he would like,
wouldn't even say good morning.
glare at me. But it's before 8 a.m. for kids.
Right.
But over time, I can't really remember how. I would just kind of. I've always gotten along with kids. I'm good with kids, and
Yeah, you're good with kids.
especially Santi's older. Like he's cool. He's chill, and Sebastian and Gabriel just loves technology, so he loves to ask questions. And then Max will just ask me the most random things, like the most random questions, and he'll play games. He'll tell you. He does it with you too, like. Try and make me say the color red, and try and make me say the color black, and just really random things.
But you know, a lot of
they're so
maybe some people would see that as a distraction in the morning. I see it like part
They're
of
great.
God's plan and who we are and the celebration of life, and
they're
to
very
see these,
respectful in Mass.
super respectful, and to see these boys coming to
So
Mass
young.
every single day is edifying.
And they like love teaching each other.
Yeah.
Like I heard yesterday Sebastian explaining to Max, like, oh, I usually hold this when I'm doing this at the altar. It helps this like I didn't catch all of it, but they just love to help each other and help them. And then when you see them out there, like you see them all sitting well, and they listen and they engage, and
Yeah, but well, it's like
They're
you
so
said,
great.
the family did a great job with them.
they're so sweet.
I'm gonna do another Bless His Kitchen with them.
Yeah.
Because the one, I don't know what happened. The one we had with them, the sound was kind of funky, but
I was out of town, and I was watching from Nashville, and I was like, I commented, I was like, this is my favorite Bless's Kitchen, because that was before they were my friends. So that's how I learned about them, was through Bless's Kitchen. But now we're buddies. Hopefully.
well, I think I'm gonna have them back,
You
and
should.
I may go out to their house, like do a Bless His
Yeah.
Kitchen on location or something.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
They've invited me several times over to their house, and they have this great kitchen to do a Bless His Kitchen. So
They're great. Maybe Max will be a little bit more
yeah,
talkative and-
he'll be in his own element, you know.
He's more comfortable.
Yeah. Well, you know, I just wanted I wanted to invite you because you have been such a gift to St. Augustine's,
Thank you.
and you never say no. You're always like, yes, if I'm available, for sure, I'll be there. And just your professionalism, your work ethic is really something to admire, and
Thank
to
you.
really to commend your parents, because you are a wonderful young lady, and you love the Lord and you want to serve the Lord. And so we're just grateful that you gave us the time that you did, and
Thank you.
we wish you only the best
Thank
now
you so
when you
much.
continue with Bella Rosa Productions.
Thank you.
So if you need a great photographer or any video editing or anything, any video production, you can contact Bella Rosa
would love
Productions.
to help.
Look it up, right? It's
Yeah,
on Instagram.
On Instagram,
or
my website, yeah. But yeah, the altar boys are the ones who told you that you should have me on.
Yeah.
And I promised them cookies if they don't tell you, and then I forgot to make them cookies. So that day they literally looked at me and they were like, "You didn't make us cookies," and then
You're
they
on
told
it.
you, and you were like, "That's a great idea." So thank you.
No,
guys.
and I'm
It
glad you
wasn't
did.
Too bad.
I'm glad you
Nervous
did.
At first, but
I'm
it
glad
wasn't
you
too
came
bad.
on.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Being behind the camera and doing the show, you had to be in front of the
Yeah.
camera. People
Yeah.
want to know, who is the girl that sits there and does and puts this together.
Yeah, and someone asked
I mean,
me
poor
once,
Michelle's
like,
doing it today, but
someone once asked, like, who's that girl who comes out from behind the altar, gets Eucharist, and disappears? And I'm like, it's me. I'm
It's
running
me.
this stream. I'm sorry. I try not to disrupt. I just really want to get it, so I
Yeah.
go around. But
well,
I'm so
thank you
grateful.
so much for being here. This is always your home. Even if you're not working, you can
Thank
always
you.
Come and be part of anything that we're doing. So
Thank
we
you.
just pray for you, pray for your future, and know that we're here to support you and love you, and you always have our prayers.
You guys are the best. It was such an incredible time here. I'm so grateful.
All right, thanks, Bella.
Thank you.
All right, I will see you maybe in 2 weeks. Maybe not next Thursday, the following Thursday. I don't know. It's been kind of crazy. We want to do more Bless His Kitchens. I got to be better about it, and I promise I will. I love doing this. It's just been so crazy busy lately, but I want to continue to do Bless His Kitchen. So I will see you soon. Take care. Stay connected to your parish. Love you. See ya. Bye.
Bye. I have to eat my cake.